Is my question clear? Why do we use pseudocodes? Zohra, why do we use pseudocodes? Yes. Any answers? What is the purpose of using a pseudocode?
To
Yes.
represent algorithm.
Yes, to represent algorithm in a yet algorithm. Yes, you can represent algorithm in two methods. Yes, what is the other first one? First way is like graphical way, which is flowcharts, right? Flowchart. Okay, what is the other one? The pseudocode. So you can represent algorithm in a text-based, right? Uh, Way. So that's a flowchart, pseudocodes. Okay. So remember we said you can use simple English kind of terms when you write pseudocodes. To start, we use begin, right? To end, you can use end, right? To read the data into the program, you can indicate inputs like you can use these three keywords, any of these three, to get the data. And if you want to display something on the screen, you can use these keywords: output, display, or show. And we said we don't use it much, but still, if you see something like this is process or the calculations. If there's a calculation, you might find these keywords, but we don't use it much, right, in practical. Is that clear? Then the process. So sorry. Then I think we also discussed about the conditions, right? If then and there's a special word to end the if statement with the end if. But still, we have not discussed the last part, the loops. So we'll come to that later. Right. So this is basically what is the pseudocode. Then when it comes to the pseudocode. Uh, I think I didn't discuss this slide. A pseudocode does not have a strict syntax or method. So there's no strict way. Okay, you should do this. You should use capitals. No, but some we use some practices. There are some practices. That is one thing is capitalizing keywords. Keywords mean like begin, end, if, else, while, do. All do these are the keywords, right? So capitalizing the keywords, this is some practice, right? And you write one statement per line, one statement. Okay, you if this is that, okay, or you say display one statement per line. You don't write two statements, and you indent the statements. You know what is indentation? And we make it simple. So these are the basic like some practices, right? These are not strict rules. Even if you don't follow this, the pseudocode will work. Like even if you don't use the capital, yeah, it's work, right? It won't be a problem. uh, Even if you don't use the indentation, that's also fine, right? So these are not these are not strict rules. These are not strict rules, right? These are just a practice. Okay, note down this slide. Pseudocode does not have a strict or does not have a syntax or strict standard way to write. Note down this slide, please. Can you note this? Oh, sorry. Let me come back to this. Okay, note down slide 15. Okay, note down this, please. Okay. Right. Shall we move? Right. So I think we did these examples, remember? So first thing, right, what we learned last week is how to convert a flow chart into pseudocodes. Basically, we did some exercise on how to convert flowcharts to pseudocode. So we'll do some more questions on this, right? I think we did this one. Then okay, we did all of this. I remember. Right, okay. I think we covered this as well, right? If one, yes, okay. Right, okay. Remember this exercise, right? Okay, remember this one. We did this flow chart, right? Question is, I think you have this in your notebook. Basically, what you have to do is you have to add the two numbers. You have to add two numbers, like let's say 25, for example, 35, and get the total. Total is 16. If the total is greater than 50, you have to add. You have to subtract 2. So subtract 5. You have to subtract 5, right? If the total is less than 50, if the total is less than 50, you have to subtract 2. Remember this question? You can refer your pseudocode questions, right? So we just started. So we'll do this one. Add two numbers, and you have to get the total, right? If the total is greater than 50, add subtract 5, right? If the total, you get the total. If the total is greater than 50, you subtract 5. So, or if the total is less than 50, if the total is less than 50, you have to subtract 2. So this is the question we did already. We created this flow chart, right? You can go through your notes. Right now, what you have to do is you have to write a pseudocode. You have to write the pseudocode for this flowchart. Is that clear? Write a pseudocode for this flowchart. Okay, go ahead and do this. You don't, if you want to, you don't need to. I mean, already you have the flowchart. But if you want to draw the flowchart, you can watch the recording and cover the. You can draw, or maybe you can get a screenshot, right? If you want to draw the flowchart, keep some space. Keep some space. And later you can draw it, right, by watching the recording, or if you want, you can take a screenshot. Now you have to write a pseudocode. So start writing the pseudocode. So once you complete it, raise the hands, please.
Selection.
So okay, we don't have a repetition. Do we? It's a selection. Very good. It's a selection. So this is not a loop. This is not a loop. No loops, right? It's not repeating, right? You can see if it is a loop, the arrow should come here. No, it should come something like this, and there should be a counter like variable to control the loop. So why we use endif? That is the rules. That is like, okay, we don't ask Rinas. We don't ask why is this 4 plus 2 is 6? Why can't be 4 plus 2 is 7? So like that, this is like an axiom. We assume, okay, everyone agreed. Okay, let's use an endif. So that's just a rule. Okay, so just follow the rule. Is that clear? So it's just a rule. Because it's no, when you use an endif, we know that okay, it's kind of an indicator to show that okay, this is the end of the if statement. So if you have if and if you have an endif, okay, we know this is the end of this if statement. Okay, I will show you in the next example. When you have a nested if statement, when you have if statement inside the statements, or we call that as nested if statements. It's this when you have an end if, it's easy for you to understand, right? We are to end the if. Okay, so I'll come to that later. So, okay, once you finish, please raise the hands. So Rai, Dreamer, Sarah, Uzma, Zahrin. So what about others? Hani, Uzma, Sarah. Okay, you can WhatsApp your who have completed WhatsApp the answers. If you have a phone with you, if you have a phone, or if you can WhatsApp me. Okay, Huda, Shihan, have you completed? Okay, we'll start, right? So we'll start. So I'm not going to use the capitals, right? So we'll right. Right. So input, you can use the same input, or maybe you can use read, right? Input in one and in two. Okay. What else? Then right, you find the total equal in one plus in two, right? Next one. Okay. Now, okay. So now look at this one. We have converted this input, then the total part also done. Okay, now we have a condition here. Okay, this is an interesting one. So we have a condition here. So how do you write the condition now? Right? If, right, if total greater than 50, then what you have to do? If total greater than 50, then what you have to do? If the condition is true, what you have to do? Yes, sir. If the condition is true, what you have to do, you have to subtract 10, right? Subtract 5, sorry. You have to subtract 5. So you have to tell, right? Then total equal, right? Total minus 5. That is, right? Okay. If the condition is true, if yes, write down this one, write this statement, okay? If it is yes, write down that statement, okay? Very easy, right? Okay. Now, if not, if the condition is not true, we say else. Else mean, what is else? Else means the no part. Else mean if the condition is not true, that is our no part, right? If the condition is not true, that is this one, this is else part, right? If you are still not sure, right? This is the else part, right? This is if part. Yes is if the condition is true. So if mean if this part is the true one, or yes part, true or yes part. So else is this is no or false. Okay, now if the condition is false, what you have to do? You have to make total equal total minus 2. Now end if to indicate the end of this if statement. Okay, what is the next step? So we are done with the if one. Okay, so we have completed that one. What should be the last one then? So if we write calculate in front of total, is it okay? Yeah, that's okay. But we usually don't write even. But yeah, if you include that's fine, Umar. If you use calculate like this, that's fine, right? But usually we don't use it. So I don't want to add that. Okay, now what is the next statement then? Display total, yes. So last statement should be display, or you can use output, whatever, right? Here they have used display, so we use display total. So we use the total as the same capital because that's how they have given. So follow the same variable names, right? So finally you can end the program. Is this clear? So what you should know here, the important part is with the if condition, right? This part, right? If the condition is true, you do this one. If the condition is false, right? If the condition is false, you do this one. So we don't say yes, no here. So you have if else. And look at the indentation. So you can check your answers. You can use the process, but you can use process or calculate in front of these, but we don't use it. I mean, as I said, these are not strict rules, right? These are not strict rules. You were there, right, Zahri, when we discussed that slide. So these are not strict rules. So basically, yeah, even if you use that, that is not wrong, right? So check your answers. You can check the answers with this one. I will go through your answers later after the class, right? Any questions, any doubt, or any whatever feedback or anything? If you have any comments on this, so you can put your hands down. Sir, can't we interchange NDIF and display total statement? Can we, sir? What is that? Sir, can't we interchange the NDIF and total statement? Interchange. Okay. If is it wrong if we write display total after total equal total plus 5? Right, okay. Okay, good question, right? Right, okay. First thing, I think Mayada, what you're asking is, can't we write this one here? This is what you're asking. Can't we interchange the end if yes? Okay. Is that your question? Right. Okay, good. Now, okay, look at this one. So she's asking, right? Can we write the end display total before the end if? Okay, now look at the flow chart. This is very important. You should understand this part. Okay, look at this one. Okay, as I said earlier, what type of a structure we have? What type of a structure is this? What is this? You said selection, right? We have a selection. Selection. Okay, now it's a condition statement, right? So your condition statement start here, right? Look at this, Maya. Start here. Okay, now you have the condition, you check the condition, yes and no. Okay, now tell me, display total, is this inside the condition statement or it's after the condition statement? That means you display the total if this condition is satisfied or if condition is not satisfied, or is this just a command? So this is outside the condition statement. Or this is okay, this is the question. Okay, look at this statement, display total. Is this inside the condition statement or the outside the condition statement?
Outside, sir.
Outside. Okay, so by writing the end if, right, we indicate or we say, okay, this is the end of the condition. We say this is the end of the condition statement. This is the end of condition statement. Now tell me, if you write this inside here, what happens now? If you put that inside the condition, what happens? Basically, what you are doing here is you are trying to insert this, right? You are trying to insert this part inside the condition somewhere. let's say somewhere here, right? Is that right? Because regardless of the condition, you just display the total, whether it's yes, true or false, you want to display the total. So now tell me, Mayada, can you write this statement inside here? Can you move that interchange, or as you, I mean, let's say, can you put this display total? Can you write it here after
Okay.
this? What happens if you write after this? This becomes part of the else. That means you have to execute if the condition is wrong only. If you write it here, right? If you put your display statement somewhere like, okay, let's say you are writing here. Let me add something here. Say display total. What happens if you write here? This will execute only if the condition is false. That is, if no part somewhere here. Say you are saying display total. So if the condition is false only, this will be executed. So that is wrong. That is wrong, right? You can't interchange. So this should be written here. It should be written here. Is that clear? Am I answered your question? Okay, what is the next question? Is it wrong if I wrote display total after total equal total plus 5? Okay, again the same question, Najat. Okay, now okay, another question, right? Okay, can we write this display total, right? After this one, can you write here? What happens if you put this one here? Yeah, you got the answer, right? So you can't write display here also. You can't put there because display total is not part of the if statement. This is not part of the space. You can see by looking at the flow chart. Okay, this is out of the condition statement, out of the if statement. So you can't write that. You should write that statement display total after the end if. Is that clear? If you move there, what happens? Okay, Najat, if you write here, if you write this total here, what happened now? If the total, if you move this statement to here, what will happen now? Why do we say this is wrong? Who can explain this? Why do we say this is wrong? Yes. Yes. Why do we say wrong? Zaharin, can you tell me why this is wrong? If we write the display total inside this, inside mean inside here, I mean after the if condition. Why do we say it's wrong? Before the other two conditions satisfy, it will display the total. Okay. Yes, Zuhra, why do we say it's wrong?
Display total should be given after both the conditions are checked, but if we put it there, it will be like with only one condition checked.
Okay, now what happens if you write the total here, right? If you say display total here, what will happen is, okay, let's say what is the other answer? Because we have one more condition to check. If the condition is false, the total won't be displayed. Yeah, Uzma, yeah, you got the right answer, right? Okay. Now, what happens if you remove this and if you put the total here, right? Now, okay, if the condition that is total greater than on 50, only in this case, only if this condition is satisfied, you will see the total. If the condition is not satisfied, if the condition is false, let's say your total is less than 50, 40, your total is 40. Now what happens? If your total is 40, you won't see the total because it won't display. Because there's nothing inside else, no? Then what you have to do is, right? There's another way, but we don't use that way. Then what you have to say, you display the total here And again, you say display the total here 2 times. In both conditions, you say display the total. In else part also you display the total, and if the condition true also you display the total. But we don't want to do that. No, you don't want to repeat it. So yeah, but this is we don't do Najat. This is although logically this is correct, but we don't do this because this is unnecessary. You don't repeat in programming. One aspect of a good programming practice is that we don't repeat unnecessarily the codes, right? So you will learn it later, right? Not here in any software engineering course, you will learn that. Okay, so display total, we don't repeat it, right? So what we do is we write that only in one place. So don't, even though your logic is correct, this is not a good practice, not a good practice in programming, right? Not a good practice. So we don't follow this way. We don't follow this way, right? So what we do is we write in a common place. And also here, what you are asked to do is you are asked to convert this flow chart into a pseudocode. No, then you should see the flow chart. Flow chart, there's no they have not included the display total in both yes part and the no part. They are not included in the flow chart. So you can't do that way also, because you are converting the flow chart, right? Is that clear now? Any other questions? Two good questions, right? Thank you very much for asking those questions. Any other questions? Okay, we'll do another one then. Right, next one. Again, this one also we already did. So I will. Okay, this is basically what happens. You take the marks of certain students, right? Take the marks, and if the marks is greater than, you know this, right? If the marks is greater than or equal 75, right? Display the grade as A. If the marks is greater than or equal to 65, or this should be other way, we can say if the marks is like marks is less than 75 and greater or equal to 65, you put the grade as B. If the marks is less than 65 and greater or equal to 50, you say grade is C. And if the marks is less than 50, you display the grade as W. So these are the gradings. I think already we have this. And even if you don't know, it's okay. What you have to do is, again, convert this flowchart into a pseudocode. Write the pseudocode for this flowchart. Okay, go ahead. Take your time. Not take your time. Just try to finish it within 2-3 minutes. Artika, you just joined, right? Okay, fine. So once you're done, just WhatsApp me your answers. So I will check it. I will check the answers after the class. Okay. Is that clear? Is the question is clear? If you don't understand the question first place, just ask me. Okay, carefully, because you have, okay, now tell me what type of structure you have here. What type of structures you have here? What are this? What is the structure? This is what? Switch on the mic and you can talk, right? Okay, selection. So we have selections, no repetition, no loops, right? So far. So we will come to the loops later. So we'll first finish the selection and the sequence structure. Then we will come to loops. So it's easy. You can try now. Yeah, once you're done, you can raise the hands. So once you're done, please raise the hands. Yes, Atika, Samiha, Hafsa. Have you completed Uzma, Zuhra, Kirtika? Okay, how about this Hafsa, Hamdi, and I think Shihan, okay, Atika. So you need time. If you need time, you can take. Okay, we'll start, right? Okay. Initially, usually you begin the flowchart, pseudocode, sorry. You begin this, okay. Now, input, I'm going to use this time, let's say, read the data, read M, okay. Okay, now, if, look at this one, very important. If M is greater than, or marks is greater than or less than 5, then you can use the then in the same line, right? So it's okay, even if you change the line, that's fine, but you know, it's basically you can use the then in the same line as well, right? But don't use the then with the I mean, some students, they try to use like this. What I want to say is then don't use this way, right? Display A, or double quotation or single quotation. We'll say double quotation A. Don't use this way, right? We normally we don't use this way, right? So what you can do is you can keep the then here in the first line. Then if the condition is true, you do this way, right? Now that is the if, right? That okay, what we are doing here is, so okay, we converted this one, read this. Now we are here in the condition box. Okay, if the condition is yes, right, you say you display A. So if condition is true, this is true, no? If the condition is true, you display this. Okay, else part now, if you go to the else part, else now, else what? If no, if the condition is not true, what you have to do? Go to the flow chart and see if the condition is not true, if the condition is false, right? What you have to do, look at this one. If the condition is false now, what you have to do, if the condition is false, you have to, you have another if condition. See, you have another if condition. So what you have to do is you just add that condition. If marks greater or equal to 65, then what you have to do? You have to output or display. You have to display if the condition is true, right? If the marks is greater than 65 and if it is yes, it's true, you display this. So you have to add that here. You have to add that condition here. You have to add that here. So we'll add that. We'll say, right, display B. If not, if the condition is false, else now what you have to do? What is the else statement now? How do you write the else statement? And we don't come in this, we don't write it like this also, right? Else if, because there are else if in Python and C languages, but you don't write it here like this. So don't combine the combine like this also. Basically, you write like this, okay? Can you understand? So we don't write it, the pseudocode is like this. We don't write it the else if combined. We make it like this, right? Is that clear? So now we'll come to the else part. What is the else part now? So we are done this one. So we'll go to the else mean no, if the condition is not true. So no part, right? So there's another condition. If it is no, there's another condition. So else, with the else, you have another condition, which is what? What is that condition? If marks greater or equal 50, then you display, again, if the condition is true, you display what, let us see. And you have to, since you are displaying a character or a text, you should include within double quotation or single quotation. So don't keep it, don't write like this, display A, because I'm lazy to write a quotation. So don't do this one, because if you say display A, you are displaying a variable A, you are displaying the content of variable A. It's not a text, so don't do that way, right? Don't do that way. So you have to include a double quotation or single quotation, right? That's another mistake I noticed here. whoever sent the answers. Right, okay, now if this is the case, okay, now what is that? Else, if this condition is not true, what you have to do? If this condition is not true, what you have to do? Yes, if the condition is not true, we are okay, so we are done with this one. If that this condition is not true, this is no part, you have to display the W. So now you can say simply or display or output whatever the letter W. Okay, now look at this one. Okay, now look at this one. So you finish this end if. Okay, look at the indentation, that is important here, because now we finish this one. Right now there's an okay, look at this one. Okay, now, oops, sorry. Right now, look at this one. Okay, we have how many ifs are here? How many if statements are here? How many if statements are here? You can put your hands down. How many if statements are here? We have a statement here, we have one here, and we have one here. 3 if statements. Then you should close all 3, right? See, so you close the first one, then okay, come to this one, you close the second one, and you come here and close the third one. Look at the indentation. So when you close it, look at this. So you can see the line here, right? So you close it something and write it. See, everything better if you write in the same straight line, right? Although we don't write the line here, but you know, just to see. So you close the first statement, second state, then the third one. And even if you write everything in the same line, that's fine. But you know, it's better if you use it like this way, right? Is this clear? Okay, now let me close it. Okay, now what is the final step? So we are done with everything. Finally, what you have to do? Finally, you have to display the word W. And now you can end the program. So this is how you should write this pseudocode, right? Is that clear? Any questions? Any questions? Sorry. So you can check your answers. Check your answers. So any questions? Yes. So we already displayed the W, right? We already displayed the W. Yes. Yes. Yeah, my one is, yeah, you don't need to repeat it. Yes, you're correct. So you can, I think this is okay, no? So yeah, that's my mistake. Yes, thank you. Any questions?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, can't we put end if under the statements like if m is greater or equal to 65, then display B. Under that, can't we put end if?
Okay. You're asking, you want to put the end if here?
Yeah, under the 3 end if under the 3 statements.
3 end if under the?
3 statements.
You are saying, okay, 1 end if here, right? Like
Yes.
this? Okay. Good question. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, look at this Fadila, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now look at this one. It's a good question, right? Is anyone can anyone answer this question? Sorry, can anyone answer this question? Can't we put end if here? Yes.
Every program will run separately, so every condition will be checked. If it is even more than 75, B will be outputted.
Okay. Yeah. Any other comments? You're partly correct, right? What happens? Okay. Now, if you are saying, okay, now look at this one, right? If you look at this one, if this condition, if marks is greater than or 75, okay, you say, okay, display this, no, display A, right? Else, right? Now, if you say end if here, that means you are closing this condition, right? So, but if you look at this one, Fadila, if you look at this one, okay, where is this one? Where is the second condition start from the no branch, no? Okay, if the condition is no only, you have to say the second one, right? Is that clear? If the condition is not true only, you have to specify the second one. Is that clear? If the first condition is no, then you have to check if the marks is greater than 65. So that means still you are in the first condition. Can you understand this? See, okay, why can't we do that? Why can't we close it? Why can't we put the end if here? If you say end if, this condition is closed here. So you are saying, okay, if the condition is greater than 5, okay, do it, finish. No, because, okay, so if you use else, the rest of the condition also will be considered. But if you use end if, it will be considered, yeah. Yes, very good. Yes, Zahri, very good. So if you use the end if, you are ending the if condition here. That is wrong, because look at this flow chart. Your condition, if the condition is no, you are starting another condition. If the condition is no, you are starting another condition. That's why we don't include end if here, right? You put the else here, then there's another condition, right? So you have end if, you finally see final one, last one. Look at the last one. Fadila, look at the last condition. Sorry, look at the last condition. Okay, here, if the condition is true, you do this. If not, okay, do this. So that's all. We don't have a no part. No, there's no. So that's why we close here, right? In other ones, there is a else part. That means here, see, there's a no part. That is else. So you can't close it here. If you close it here, mean you can't put the else part. You are saying, if you say end if there, Fadila, you are saying, okay, this is the end of my if statement. That is wrong, no? This is not the end of statement. Is that clear? Okay, finally, any other questions? Please ask the questions, because it's very difficult otherwise, because as I said, the unit 1 is one of the difficult unit. The programming is one of the it's the only difficult unit in your syllabus, right? In grade 11 syllabus. All others are very simple, very straightforward. So if you have questions, please ask the questions, right? Right, now we'll come to the last question. Okay, write the pseudocode for this one. Write the pseudocode for this question. Again, very similar, but very careful. When you write the pseudocode, look at carefully look at this flow chart. It's very similar to the previous one, but I have changed, some of the things, right? Okay, can you write the pseudocode for this quickly? Take 3 minutes. By 7:10, you should finish this, right? Sorry. Write the pseudocode. And you can WhatsApp me the codes. Very similar to the previous one, but there are a couple of small changes. Once you're done, please raise the hands and you can WhatsApp me your answers as well. Whoever finish, if you have the facility, you can WhatsApp me. Again, if you want to draw this flow chart, take a screenshot and you can later draw the flow chart. Or maybe you can watch the recording and you can draw the flow chart. Rida, okay, good. We'll see your answers, Rida. Yes, yes, very good, Rida. Yes, perfect. Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, looks okay, fine. Right, okay, good. So you can have get the marks or read marks, whatever. If marks greater or equal 75, then what you have to do, right? Fadila. Okay. Oh, Fadila, the last still else, and you missed the if part. Others are fine. Yes, Samiha, yes, your answer also fine. Yeah, good. You have to, Samiha, check your indentation. That's that's okay. But you have to indent. That's a good practice. Yes, how many food finished? 8. Okay, how about others? Uzma, Zaharin? Nirukshi, Umar, Reema, Hamdi, have you finished? If you have finished, please raise the hands. Yes, very easy, no? So we'll do it. So we start the beginning, then you read the marks. You have to follow the flow chart. Okay. Then there is a condition if marks is greater than 75. Now we say grade, we don't say display, grade equal, so you assign A for capital A. This is the difference. After that, else, right? Else if marks grade row equal to 65, then what you have to do? You have to say grade, you don't say display here, you assign the grade, you just assign it, you give the value to this variable, assign it. Right? So else third one, 65, if the marks grade row equal to 55, then what you have to do? You have to say grade equal C. Okay, now I think okay, there should be another one. Else I forgot this. Else if right, then you say this one. Okay, finally, else there's no if, because if the final grade, you have to say grade equal what? F, right? So F. Now you can end the end if statements. First one, then there's a second one, again there's a third one. Now look at this one. Finally, once you finish all the conditions, you have the display statement. So you check the marks greater than 75, no. Go to 65, no. 55, no. Marks is less than 55. Let's say your marks is 40. Your marks is 40. Now what happens? Okay, you check the first one, no. Go to the no part. Check the second one, because marks is 40, no. Go to this no. Then check the marks 55, no. Then you assign the grade F. So you put the grade as F. Then finally, once you check everything, you display the grade. So what you have to do is, you have to include this here after the end statement. In this one, you have to say display or the output. Now there's a difference. Look at this one, grade. Okay, now can you all pay the attention here? Okay, now, okay, now tell me, when you display the grade, okay, here, okay, do we need to display within double quotation grade, or see like this or this? Which one is correct now? Okay, now tell me, I have given two options. Yes, who can answer this question? Which one is correct? Yes, Uzma, what do you think? Which one is correct? First option or second? Let's say you display, okay, this is my first option, A, and option B. Which one is correct? Option A or option B is correct. When you display the grade, do we have to include the grade within double quotation or without the double quotation? And why? Option B, without the double quotation, because it has a value and we don't need to display the word grade. Very good. Without the double quotation, very good. Option B, option B, option B, okay, without the double quotation, because the variable is already created. Yeah, basically, yes, you are correct, because here what we are displaying is, we are not displaying the word grade. You don't want to show in the screen something like this, grade. What you have to display is the content inside that variable, whether it's A grade, B grade, C or F. So when you want to display the content of the variable, you should not use what? The double quotation. You should not use double quotation. If you use the double quotation, then that is wrong. If you use the double quotation, then that is wrong. So don't use the double quotation. I can't delete it now. Okay. So don't use the double quotation. If you use double quotation, that is wrong. Is that clear? So when you display, just say display grade. But if you want to display a word, then you should use within the double quotation. Okay. Any questions from this? Any questions? Any doubt?